Welcome to the Even Better podcast, where your host, Sinikka Waugh of Your Clear Next Step, brings you exciting content about making communities better by helping people get even better at work.
Today's episode is brought to you by Your Clear Next Step in the Changemaker Certification Program.
Would you like to save time by solving the right problem sooner with a realistic and measurable plan? Reduce overwhelm by finding more sustainably productive ways to work? Improve employee morale by creating more positive workdays from within? Stay competitive by tightening your turn or increasing your agility in adapting to changing customer demands? If you said yes to those things, then we have the solution for you.
Interested in becoming a changemaker? Give us a call at 515-442-0545.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Even Better podcast. This is your host, Sinikka Waugh, and I'm so delighted that you have joined us today. Thanks for taking time. This is part of our ongoing mission here at your Clear Next Step to help us all have even better workdays so that together we can co-create better communities. And I am delighted to welcome back my friend and our guest, Jana Mitzoda. Jana, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Sinikka. Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me.
This is going to be so much fun. So as we are getting settled in and getting a chance to listen, for those of you who don't know Jana, I invite you to go back and listen. She was a guest before, I think it was around episode 73 or so. We've been doing this for a bit. And so you can go back and listen to one of her episodes before. And I've had just this wonderful opportunity to get to know Jana. Jana has, she's a professional certified coach and through the International Coaching Federation. She is a facilitator of workshops and training. When she and I first met, one of the things that she said about herself was that she was a project manager and had a background in project management and in leadership. And these things are true. And what I've come to understand about her is that the way Jana shows up is a way that helps others pause and center themselves and be present in the moment and understand who they are and how they're showing up and take responsibility for themselves and be conscious in the moment. And I know that in the experiences that I've had with Jana, one of the things that I've appreciated so very much is the opportunity to slow down and pause in the moments and not race through life like I sometimes do, but to stop and pay better attention and to be more aware of who I am and how I'm showing up and delight more fully in the world around me and take more full accountability for the state of how I'm showing up, what my brain is doing, what my body is doing, what my words are doing, what my senses are doing. And Jana has been so faithful and so patient with helping people understand that and then connect that with their lives and how they're showing up more fully in their present. And I know that this is something that Jana does authentically in her career and in her life and in the work that she does. And I've witnessed it and I've experienced it and I've benefited from it firsthand. And so I'm delighted to have this opportunity to share this with our listeners and with you if you're listening today and if you listened the last time and just to spend a little bit more time with Jana today.
Thank you so much, Sinikka. And I hope that with these tips that I would like to share during the podcast, people will be able to find even more of that sense of peace and connectedness, not only to themselves, but to others as well, because it starts with ourselves, but the ultimate is really the connection that we had with other people and what we can do here when we are present. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, and I love that, Jana, your point. It's being aware, but it's being aware so that we can connect better with others. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let's do just a little bit of pause for a second here and talk about who this episode is for. who should be listening here? We have among our listeners, we have people who are in a variety of different roles, a variety of different walks of life. There are people who are working corporate jobs. There are people who are working small business jobs. There are people who are taking care of their families. We got people in retirement, all over, all walks. Who should be listening right now? Who should be tuning in, Jana?
Yeah, thank you. So I would say anyone from all walks of life, anyone who feels the need to pause, anyone who finds it difficult to stop their mind, anyone who feels like their mind is a little bit in override, or perhaps they feel a sense of overwhelm. And this can be different types of overwhelm, right? We have everything that's happening on the outside, politically, geographically, geologically even, right? We have all these events happening that are shocking and surprising and that are shattering and changing the way we live and even where we live for many people. And then there is a lot happening inside of us at the same time. We are going through major shifts and changes in the society and how we function as human species on this planet. So I think anyone who feels that sense of overwhelm, whether it is triggered by the outside and the circumstances they are in, or it's just their inner state, and I'm saying just quote unquote, because it's not just, right?
Right.
It is their inner state that is driving this sense of overwhelm. Anyone who feels that just a little bit might benefit from listening to us today.
Yeah. And as you talk about this, Jana, you are not speaking from a position of not knowing what's going on, right? You have had corporate seats, you have lived in family life, you have lived in cities, you have traveled, you have taught people, like you have firsthand experience about what you're talking about here. You've sat in these seats, yes?
Yes, and especially lately, I would say since COVID times, I've been having many clients, hundreds of clients, if not thousands of people, sharing how their lives changed as a result of COVID and everything that happened afterwards. We see a big shift that goes through industries. It goes across all industries, and it actually touches almost everyone. So people are getting laid off. People need to requalify, reskill themselves again and again and again in order to keep their jobs, or they need to learn something completely new and start a new job so that they pay their mortgages and they can take care of their kids and families. So the amount of stress that almost everybody is experiencing and has been experiencing for the past few years is unprecedented. And I would say I feel, and I'm hearing this from all my clients, that there is more and more need for this. And I don't want to call it mindfulness, because for me it's more than mindfulness. I think there's more need for centeredness and well-being in general. And we really need to take the time to take care of that for ourselves and then also for others.
You bet. You bet. So, our topic today is 5 ways to relax your mind and down regulate your nervous system. So, that feels a little, I don't know, 5 ways to relax your mind and down regulate your nervous system. If I'm a person who goes to work and I'm listening to this podcast on even better work days, I'm thinking, wait a second, I was expecting tips on organizing my workday, or I was expecting tips on having less conflict with my colleagues. Okay, relaxing my mind. Wait, is that going to help me at work? Is that going to help me in my workday? Make the business case for me, Jana. How does
Yes.
help me get there?
Yes. And before we do that, I want to say that the beauty of this is that all these tips that I would like to share with your listeners are things that we have completely under control. We are in total control of those things. And I picked those because of that, because there is a lot that we cannot control, and there are some factors in life that we have some influence over, and that includes other people. But these things are totally under our control. And the business case is simple. If we don't come from a place of presence and conscious choice and intentionality we will not be happy with the end results. Long term, we can never be happy because we will end up somewhere else. We must end up somewhere else if we are not intentional and conscious about what we say, what we think, how we behave, how we treat other people. So I would say, for me, the business case is really simple.
If we're not intentional, we will not end up where we want to be. We will not end up happy. We will not end up satisfied with the results. If we want the results, if we want to be satisfied with the results, we have to be intentional with our words, with our actions, with our mindset.
Yeah. And also just simply healthy. We will not be healthy. And that's the other thing that I see. I see more people and clients coming because they are not healthy physically, emotionally, psychologically, mentally. They don't feel healthy and they want to get back to optimal health. And I think it starts with a clear mind. It starts with focus and intentionality. And we cannot get there if we don't do certain things. So I can't wait to share.
This is wonderful. Okay, so you have you've talked about people who might be feeling overwhelmed. So tune in here if you're feeling overwhelmed. I chuckle because I can't think of anyone I've spoken to recently who didn't feel a little bit overwhelmed. So tune in if you want to be happier. So many of us are seeking this. We want to be happier with the outcomes of our actions, of our intentional behaviors. And then you just said, and if we want to have better well-being, if we want to be healthier, right? Isn't that what we're all seeking? We want to be happy and healthy and in control of our outcomes and less overwhelmed. I mean, you're speaking to the dream, right? This is what we want right now. and since 2020, at least, we've been less happy, we've been more overwhelmed, we've been less well. And so I think what you're asking or what you're offering here is some tips. And if I heard you right, you just said these are things over which we have control. There are a bunch of things over which we have no control, and you are not pretending to offer control over the things we don't have control over. That there are things that we cannot control, but for the things over which we do have control, you're offering, hey, here are some tips. Oh man. Well, let's get going. What do we do? Let's and I love your point that this is more than mindfulness. This is not it's different. It's different than mindfulness. It's something more than that. But I've seen you practice mindfulness, and I know that you come from a place, and this is something that you believe in. And now we're taking that in something more.
Yeah, and it totally is. It's a medicine, in my opinion. Mindfulness meditation is the medicine that the world needs right now more than anything else. But there are some other tools, and there are actually things that I believe can happen before we start practicing mindfulness. And these are simple things, but sometimes we forget to do them, and we end up being overwhelmed and stressed to the degree that we cannot fall asleep, that we cannot focus, that we cannot concentrate on what we have to do.
Well, let's get started. Let's try one.
All right.
Let's start. What's the first one? What's the first one, Jana?
So I think the very first one is actually to give yourself the permission to let go of that stresses you and worries you and that makes you feel overwhelmed. And I know it can be a million things, but sometimes it's one big thing. So just for a moment to allow yourself to let go. And what I found really helps me and other people is to get rid of the technology, put away your devices for that moment. It can be just a minute or 2 or 10, but putting away the devices does something to our mind. It already gives a signal to the mind, hey, I'm doing something different, or hey, I decided to take a moment just for myself, and I don't need this phone, I don't need my laptop, I don't need the iPad, I don't need the technology for that. All I need is the intention to just let go for a moment. And then this automatically gives our mind a little bit of rest, and we are able to shift the attention to the rest of us, because we are not just our mind. And sometimes we are so much in our mind, so much in our head. We think so much and so hard that we forget that we have more to us than just that. So that would be the first step. And I really learned it the hard way. And you know that, you know the story about me burning out about a decade ago. And I took some time off. It was actually exactly 100 days. And I called those days 100 days of nowness. And I called it just for myself, but on purpose, because I wanted to be here and now and just do that, just be present with whatever is. And I must admit that for the first week or two, for the most part, I felt anxious. I felt huge anxiety because I was not used to just being with myself. I was not used to having an empty schedule, having nothing to do really, nothing planned. Nobody was chasing me. Nobody was urging me for a million things. And I was so used to that it was harder for me to do nothing than to run around on this treadmill of endless tasks and commitments that I used to have. So I learned it the hard way. And for those first, I think 2 weeks, I felt really anxious. Only then I was able to calm down and start relaxing. And only then I felt inspired to actually start doing something and create some things. But it took time. So for me, the first step really was to give myself the permission to do that and to put away the devices and the technology.
Yeah. So this is interesting, Jana. So you've got to let's compare those time frames. And I want to pause on two different things here. One is the time frame. So you said 100 days. Many of us can't, right? The 100 days, many of us can't stop for 100 days. But to give yourself permission for a few minutes, maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's just a few moments of technology free, of just for a few moments to let go. Intentionality.
Exactly.
Like it maybe it doesn't have to be 100 days, but maybe it's something smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned it during those 100 days, and I learned it the hard way because I was forced by my state and my health, and the state of burnout really forced me to stop. And it was a hard stop. I wish for everyone to avoid that and to prevent that. And to prevent that, we can do this. This will help us to prevent that. Yeah, so as you said, a few minutes just to step away from technology and just to be and just to allow and let go.
Yeah.
And then start breathing.
Yeah. I think before we get to the second point, the other thing I want to, because I think words matter. There's something really interesting about the way you've worded this. Give yourself permission to stop and let go. It is different from just saying let go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if someone just told me, hey, Sinikka, let go, I think that would land differently than these words that you've chosen, which are giving yourself permission to let go. That conversation, that inner dialogue that we have with ourselves, that I'm not allowed to, I have to be something, I have to be more, I have to do more, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not whatever enough. That if we give ourselves permission to be human, if we give ourselves permission to rest, if we give ourselves the same grace that we extend to others, when we extend others the grace, yes, you're allowed to rest. Yes, of course, you don't have to push yourself that hard. I would never push you that hard. Why do I push myself that hard? There's something there in the way that you worded that that's so lovely.
Yeah, and that was the hard part also for me, because I felt that I'm obliged to do what I have done and continue doing that because everybody expected me to do so. And so giving myself the permission was like, ooh, I actually matter. Like my well-being matters as well as the well-being of others.
Yeah, that's really lovely. Thank you. Okay, so what else? So let's give ourselves permission to stop and let go. And then what?
And then we can actually notice that we have a body, and the body just keeps breathing. Whether we know it, whether we think about it or not, it keeps on breathing. And breath for me is really the simplest anchor that we have to come to the present moment. So now that we have created some space for us, whether it's a minute or 2 or 5, doesn't matter, we can just be present through breathing. Breath is really a fantastic anchor. I think it's the perfect anchor because it's always there. It's like our best friend. It's always there. We just don't notice. Yes. And so we can be present with our own breathing. And I got this experience being with dolphins and whales. I don't know if you've heard it, but they actually breathe consciously. Unlike us humans, every breath that they take it consciously and purposefully. They choose the timing of it, the length of it, everything. Their brains are wired differently. And also, they never sleep. Just half of their brain sleeps and the other half continues functioning. So they are wired differently. But being with the dolphins, with the wild dolphins in the ocean, I learned a lot about my own breathing, and I saw them, and I actually experienced the way they breathe by swimming and diving with them. And it taught me a different way of breathing. It's hard to explain, but since then I find it easier to use breath as an anchor and to actually remember that I can get back to that anchor anytime I need to calm down. I can always get back to my breath. It's like it's always there waiting for me. And so I would say that's the second step. We can just connect with our own breath and just feel the breath, take it consciously and feel it. It doesn't mean we have to make it longer or shorter. We don't have to change it necessarily, but just taking a few conscious breaths is a great way to calm the mind and relax the monkey mind.
Oh, for sure. So, and of course, in mindfulness practices or in some of the other centering practices that I'm aware of, there are breathing techniques. There's box breathing, and there are intentional breathing things that you can do for a variety of reasons. But you're offering something so simple. Just pay attention to your breathing. Just breathe and be aware of your breathing. You don't have to do anything about it. Just breathe.
Just breathe. And it's also give yourself the permission to just breathe. Just feel your own breath. It's there. It's a wave. It's like coming and going. It's always there. It's just waiting for you to be with it, to be present with your own breathing. So as I said, these are simple things, but we hardly ever do them and practice them.
I am a person of very deep faith, and my faith tradition will always go back when I think about breathing. Will always go back to the ancient Hebrew name for God, Yahweh, and the very sound of that. It's like a breath, right? It's like breathing in and breathing out. And when I think of breath and the breath of life, I go back to centering and I am the ancient God who created me and is center and present in me. And that to me, that is part of what helps me center.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. Yahweh. It reminds me also of the Hawaiian greeting. I know most people know aloha is the way the Hawaiians greet themselves, but I didn't know what it means until I met one of the Hawaiian healers, and he told me aloha means I greet you in the presence of the divine with the breath of life. That's what aloha means. And it just sounds like very similar meaning to what you described Yahweh means in Hebrew. Isn't that amazing? Okay.
Oh, okay. So then we give ourselves permission. That's first. Give yourself permission to stop and let go. Second, you breathe. Third, you relax. Relax.
Yes.
I think it's something you said something about relaxing. So talk about that. What was third? Where do we go?
Yeah. So once we are present, we are aware of our whole self, and we are breathing consciously, we can expand that awareness. Okay. We can expand it to the rest of our body with the intention of relaxing. And here, really, everybody has to find what works for them. I'm a big fan of yoga. I love yoga, qigong, these energy exercises. I like to feel my energy. And breathing is always part of that. Breathing is part of qigong and yoga, even tai chi. And some people do it differently. They like to go for a walk or run, or they dance. It can be different ways. But I found that for most people and for most of my clients, what works is to find music that helps them to relax.
Okay.
And it can be different kind of music, again, for each of us. But we all have a playlist or a song or a kind of an album that just gets us there, that helps us to relax and to just, chill out for a moment.
Just chill out. Just let the body relax. Let the physicality of the body unwind a little bit.
Yeah, and that may take some time. And for most people it does. That's why it's really good if we can just sit back or lie down and just listen to some calming, relaxing music, whatever is that for everyone. And just allow our body to do what it wants to do. Because our body, when we are in this overdrive and we are overstimulated, our body really craves some relaxation. Our body wants to take a rest and to down-regulate the nervous system. And if we allow for that, and we can do that, if we take a time to breathe and to relax, our body will just naturally go there. And if people struggle, what I also found very helpful is that there is always a place, even if it's a tiny spot in our body, that feels a bit more relaxed than the rest. So if you just scan your body right now, you might be able to find a place in your body that feels more relaxed.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
For example, I feel it in my hands for some reason
Yep, my
right
hands
now. I
too.
just feel my hands are very relaxed. I'm not doing anything, just talking. So find where your body feels a sense of relaxation. Find that place. And if you have that, as you breathe, try to breathe into that place and see if you can very gently expand that sense of relaxation from that body part to the rest of your body. And again, breathing can be the tool. So it's as if you are breathing that sense of relaxation into the other cells around that place, around that spot, around that body part. And then before you know it, your body naturally takes over because it wants to relax. And it will spread. And again, it may take a few moments or perhaps a few minutes, but that's a nice way to do it, very gentle way to do it.
Yeah. As I'm listening to these first three steps here, I'm recalling a friend of mine that used to take the commuter bus from a city down to, from the city of Boston down to the Cape Cod, and they'd be on the bus for about an hour after working in the city all day, and then they'd an hour or more later they'd be at home, and as they'd work through the grind of their day, and then they'd get on the commuter bus and they'd check out from their day, right? They'd give themselves the permission to let go of the grind of the day. And I suppose they were breathing. I guess I don't know. We didn't really talk about the breathing, but they'd relax their body and they'd put on a headset and listen to a favorite relaxing playlist. And by the time they got home, they would talk about how much they appreciated that commute because it gave them a chance to check out, to let go of their work and relax the whole way home. And we debated the freedom of, well, I like to have my car. I like the freedom and the flexibility of having my own transportation. And their argument was, nope, I like the commute because I have this moment where I can completely check out and decompress and let go of. I relax my mind and I leave my work at work. And by the time I'm home, I'm there with my family and I'm fully present. And I, as I'm listening to you describe this, they were relaxing their mind. They were doing what you're describing.
Totally, and down-regulating their nervous system at the same time. And it's totally that, and I can totally relate to that. And I love music, and I love driving, and I'm commuting quite a bit to the city still. And so what I find helpful is also to have some classical music, for example, that works for me. So I have some Vivaldi and Mozart with me. And on my way home, I would put that on and I can feel it. And it's not that I'm falling asleep, I'm really relaxing the tensed muscles in my shoulders, in my back, in my belly, that I was not aware of during the day. I was not aware that there's so much tension. And as I listen to the music, I go like, oh, wow, I can relax. I was actually pretty tense. Yeah. So that works. That's a great tip.
Yeah. Okay. So then what? Permission to stop and let go, breathe, relax your body. And then what?
Yes. And then now you are aware of your breath, you're aware of your body. So you can connect to the outside. And one of the ways that really works well for most people is to connect to the nature. And again, can be in different ways. It can be just a walk to the garden. It can be a walk with the dog. It can be just a simple going out on the terrace or opening a window and feeling the rays of the sun on your face. And just again, allowing yourself to take that, to soak it in, to spend a minute just doing that. It's almost nothing, but it will shift us and it will help us to relax the mind. When it's not so cold, like it's really freezing here now, but during spring and summer, I love to go out just for a moment with barefoot and just walking barefoot on the grass. Yeah, and I anchor to the earth and I just feel, okay, I'm part of something bigger. I can touch a tree or I can look at a flower. Yeah, we can find a favorite spot, our favorite spot somewhere in nature, and just hang out there for a moment.
Just go be with a tree.
Go
be somewhere next to nature. I was in winters are unpleasant and cold here in central Iowa, but there's still beauty in nature, right? There are evergreens, there are things that are still lovely. But I was on a college campus just recently, and I noticed that in the midst of the bitter cold, they have these planters that in the springtime are out and they sit on the patios. And I just noticed yesterday that one of them had been brought in the fall, and it's just inside the glass doors. And so it's still getting all the sunlight, and it's full of beautiful spring blooms. But there it is in the middle of winter, protected from the elements, but inside I'm like, oh, look, it's a spring planter. This is the kind of thing that we would have in the spring or the summer, but it's right there providing nature inside, and it was so refreshing and so lovely on this yucky January day.
Yeah, and we can find beauty everywhere if we look. So that's the thing, that's the intentionality again, just like reminding ourselves that, oh, we can do that. We all have a minute or two in the middle of our busy days, right, to go outside. And even if we don't, okay, sometimes I have very critical clients and they go like, but I have no time, I cannot do this, I cannot go outside, okay, what can I do? Kind of a victim mentality sometimes, right? And so, yeah, and so to those, or if people feel like it's their case, I would say you can always get a glass of water and just drink that glass of water consciously and feeling that you are connecting to nature through this. And we can always do that. Wherever we are, we can get a glass of water and just drink it consciously. So that's the most simple technique, I would say, there is. And the point of this step is to really get back to our natural flow. Because of the way we live and because of all the stress that we are bombarded by all day, every day, our rhythm is being distorted. And also our circadian rhythm is being distorted. So that's why so many people find it hard to fall asleep, or they wake up in the middle of the night, and because of the thoughts and everything that's immediately starting in their head, they cannot fall asleep again, and then they are tired and they cannot focus, and it's like a vicious circle. So we gotta do these things in order to balance our system back into its natural rhythm, natural flow.
Oh, I can feel that, and right now I'm ready to do that. I'm ready for a weekend. I got out of balance without a weekend. I worked over the weekend and it threw my balance off, and I can feel it right now. I'm ready to get back into that rhythm again, because we have a natural there is a day and a night and a week and a flow, and there is our bodies are called for a day of rest.
Yes.
We need that.
Yes.
There is a cycle
We
to
need
it.
that. Yeah. And also, anytime we are able to see the sunrise and sunset, that's a great way to get our rhythm back into its natural flow. Seeing the sunrise and sunset is really like setting the internal clock to where it's supposed to be in whatever season we are just in. So I know it's not always possible, but whenever it's possible, we should appreciate those moments.
Well, you reset your clock, plus you get to see a thing of beauty.
Yeah. Win-win.
Win-win, win-win. All right. So what else? You said there were 5. So there's one more.
Yes.
Okay.
And the last one is really diving deeper into yourself. And again, giving yourself the permission to do that. So one way to do that can be to really feel your heart. And we can do it really simply by putting our hand on the heart, just to feel the heartbeat for a moment, realizing, okay, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing. It's okay. Whatever is going on, it's okay. I'm still here. And we can also try to bring a sense of love or gratitude. Even on the worst days, there's always something we can be grateful for. So that helps also to shift us, and to shift us from the thoughts and the negative loop that might be going on here to our heart and the sense of gratitude for being alive. Just simply being alive is enough for a moment. And it can be harder, as you said, when people are losing jobs and they are experiencing some real difficulties. It can be harder to do that. But remembering that there's always times that are challenging and that we went through many of them already. Mm-hmm. And remembering that this change or this difficulty that we are experiencing is just another one, and it will pass. And we will be able to handle it just like we handled the ones before. Just that is really helpful.
Yeah. Thinking about the strength that we had last time. We handled the last one. So we'll be able to handle this one.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, Jana, when I spend time with you, I always come away more centered and more confident that the next day the rest of this day and tomorrow are gonna be okay.
I'm so happy to hear that. It's always a pleasure to chat with you, Sinikka. Thank you.
Likewise. So as we wrap this up, and what would you like to? How would you want to put a bow on this for our listeners? How do we tie this up? These 5 ways to relax your mind. What closing thoughts would you have for our listeners?
I would say start small. Really, just start with one thing and add the other, and just see how you feel. Also notice the difference. Usually when we just start doing these practices, within a day or 2 or 3, we already notice the difference. We are more present. People can start commenting on that. We can sleep better. And when you are experiencing even a small shift or small benefit of that change, that is a huge source of motivation. So notice the difference and give yourself a pat on the back, and don't be hard on yourself, because change takes effort and it takes time also to become a habit. So I would just encourage people to start small and not give up, and come back if it doesn't work, or if they slip back to the old sense of overwhelm. There's always a chance to do it again and again and again, and it's an endless opportunity that we have every day, every moment.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And this would not be the Even Better podcast if I didn't ask you what's making you even better these days, Jana.
Oh, I love that question. I would say play, and in the wider sense, I love to play, and I play a few instruments, and I love to sing, and I play with people, but also play in the general sense, just being playful, and finding ways how I can bring more playfulness into my work, into the work that I do with people, with groups. Just being more playful makes my days better.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Jana. So, Jana, as our listeners who are at various stages, various walks of life, and as you've alluded, we've got many folks who are out of work right now who may be listening, and just various stages. If somebody wants to reach out to you, of course they can connect to us and we will connect them with you. But if they wanted to reach out to you directly, what's the best way for them to find you?
The best way would be actually to email me at Mitzoda, Mitzoda @gmail.com, or they can find out more information on my website, Lamurai, LAMURAI.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Jana, thank you for spending this time with us this morning. This has been such a joy. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been delightful. Thank you, Sinikka, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. And to all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this has been useful to you, and I know it will be time and time again. And if you have not heard Jana's other podcast episode with us, just dial back to that, go scrolling through the titles, you'll find it. I think it's around episode 73, and go check out that other episode and tune in for more, because I just delight in spending time with Jana, and we'll get her back here as quickly as I can. So thank you for listening, and we hope, on behalf of all of us here at Your Clear Next Step, we hope the rest of your day is even better.
Thank you for tuning in today. The Even Better podcast will be back with more content soon. But in the meantime, subscribe to our podcast or check out our website at yourclearnextstep.com for more information. See you next episode.